What up, guys? It's Coach Nation. We got another episode of the Champs Corner where we believe that everybody's a champion of their own story. And today we got my brother, Dangerous Devon Brock.
It's good, brother. It's good.
How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, I'm feeling like a champ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So talk to him, brother. Let him know who you are.
Oh, man, my name is Devon Dangerous Brock, as he already said. I'm the owner at Built to Win Fitness. I'm up here at Nation's Lab, sharing my story with my brother.
Yes, sir. So we go back. What is it now?
Probably like seven, almost 8 years now.
7, 8 years.
Yeah,
definitely been doing a great job of trading corners.
Oh, definitely.
Started off as teammates. We practiced together. We trained together, sparring partners, the whole thing. And we've definitely gone back and forth and coaching each other, whether it be in life, whether it be on the mat, whether it be whatever it is about. We just literally straight up always transferring information. I learned something new, boom, shoot it over. He learns something new, shoots it over. Every time we feel in some kind of way, conversations a call away all the time.
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, diving in just on that, man. Just being able to share information between each other. You know what I'm saying? That's been key, man. At the end of the day, like I've learned throughout so many situations that blood don't make you family, man. The bonds and stuff that we got, man. Right here, you'll forever be a brother to me, man.
Definitely, bro. That's a two-way street, brother. It's always been.
Definitely.
I know some go down. I can make one phone call and the rest get handled.
Oh, for sure. You already know.
Yes, sir. Brother, talk to him, man. We just coming off a unanimous win, flawless victory. Literally saw, right after that fight, we saw each other, big hug, and it was just, you asked me what I thought about the performance, and I was like, spacing, timing, composure, perfect, all the way through, bro. Tell me, like, how were you feeling throughout the fight?
Definitely, man. Just to start off and say, like, man, just incredible job to like my coaches, as far as Chad George. I've been working with Jamal down at Sweet Science, and then a team captain of mine, Victor Henry. We had this game plan, and it was executed like to perfection. As far as just knowing what from my previous fights, and just knowing from what all the opponents think at the end of the day. And I say think because little do they know I actually have a well-rounded game. But a lot of people, their game plan is to take me down because the striking that I have, I know for sure it's not too many people that's going to be able to hang with me at the end of the day. And I feel like it was just executed well. Like you said, the time and the space and everything. I just had fun, to be honest with you. I just had fun. I just went out there just with like, no shade to my opponent or nothing like that, because at the end of the day, it was about myself. It was, I have fun with the target practice. No joke. Like
regardless of who's in front of it, right?
Regardless of who's in front of it. It doesn't, nothing to the name or anything. We don't even have to say his name.
Right.
But, just regardless to the fact of who it is, it was just, I have fun with the target practice. It was like, that was the game plan. It was like, hey, man, just until they make you change it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There was nothing to fix at the end of the day.
Right.
It was honestly just picking my shots, and that's what I went out there and did.
That's dope, bro. And I mean, from the outside looking in, it seems like you were on that the entire time and super calm and relaxed. And it was something you were saying, like, no shade to my opponent. But I think from the outside looking in, for people who don't train, people who don't understand martial arts, or even MMA or boxing or any of the competitive side of the sport, people always seem to think that fighting this aggressive hatred, just angry thing, right?
Not at all.
Like, talk to him, bro. Like, you literally were in there, and this might be, from my perspective, I think the fight that I've seen you the most relaxed, the most calm, the most composed. Not that you weren't in the past, but just from those other fights, seeing how you've been leveling up. It's just like, speak into that a little bit, bro, because people, I think, they get stuck on like, it's aggression, right?
Definitely. So at the end of the day, it starts at home and in the gym. And when I say at home, I really mean in your gym. At home too, don't get me wrong. It is life off the mats and out the ring and cage that matters most. But at the same time, it starts in the gym. As far as I've had my biggest battles were in the gym, and I say like sometimes that I'll have sparring partners when you're good at something. A lot of people shy away from it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes like it's like, oh, well, he hits too hard, or he does this and he does that. And that was mental damage for me, man, to hear
Yeah.
grown men sit there and cry about certain things, especially like, man, the from coming training with you guys and everything. Like when I first started, it was like, it was we we prepared ourselves in the gym. We made sure that at the end of the day, whether it was you had a fight coming up or I had a fight coming up, it was like, hey, we got to get you prepared. And at the end of the day, we have to give you the proper looks and everything, the proper
Hmm.
training that you're going to go up in there and face. At the end of the day, I'm not saying like go in there and knock your training partner out or anything like that, but
Right.
it's like, hey, like it's are you going to tap if your partner, if the person you're fighting socks you too hard, like
Right.
it's, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like
Yeah.
it's, or kicks you too hard. Like, don't get me wrong, there is so much of a level of respect that all of us in the mixed martial arts world have for each other
Of
as
course.
training partners. We need our training partners. Nobody, well, I'm not going to say nobody, because a lot of people actually do get paid to be a sparring partner.
Hmm.
Yes. But your everyday sparring partners and everything, we're not getting paid and all of that. So of course you don't want to go to the gym, show up and be like, oh, I gotta fight this guy.
Right.
No, it's not that. It's just like just how this past weekend, you have as a training partner, you have to learn how to advance your game to be able to train with anybody
Mm.
at the end of the day. And that's something I had to go through, whether it was big guys, little guys, small guys, because that was what was going on. I had so many people just in my weight class alone, like nah, like shying away from me. You get what I'm saying? Like like, oh, I gotta go train with somebody else because of this or that, whatever. They will train people with that don't even have fights coming up. Just sit there, you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? But
Mm.
they take so much pride inside the gym of winning and losing. When I'm not that social. You could check my social media out. I'm not that social media guy that's gonna go post me knocking somebody out in training or me doing something to you
Right.
in training. Like
Right.
that's not me. So, I'm a very humble guy at the end of the day. So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to sit there and go post you in training like as if I just embarrassed you or something like that or hurt you
Right.
in something.
It's respect, right?
Yeah, it's respect.
Yeah.
It's always respect. I got a training clip actually on my page right now
Hmm.
where I was actually sparring one of our heavyweights, and I like held his hand and I'm still striking, and we laughed about it like in the midst of the art. You know
Right.
what I'm
It's
saying?
gotta
At the
be.
end of the day, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, you got me kind of
Yeah.
thing. It was,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But
I
like
mean, we've done that plenty of times.
plenty of times sitting there like, God damn it,
Yeah.
Flash. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
God damn it. Thank you.
yeah, like, damn,
You
like,
got me,
you
bro.
got me, you got me.
Yeah. And
But
then we step outside of that, and also there's been like last time we sparred, you're like, bro, when we in here, you was giving me some coaching, right? And it's like
yeah,
that goes back and forth every time at the end of the sparring session.
definitely, definitely.
Starts and ends with respect.
Starts and ends with respect. So at the end of the day, once you kind of understand that and have a full blown knowledge of that, that is where you're able to carry it into the ring and be confident in who you are.
Hmm.
And that's something that was big for me, just being confident in who I am. That's what brought that calmness out of me because
Mm.
at the end of the day, with me being who I am, I know I'm a very hard person to stop. I'm not saying I'm just unstoppable or nothing like that because I feel like with the right mindset, anybody can accomplish anything.
Right.
But I feel like at the moments, I'm, that's me. Like
Right.
it's this is my cage, this is my world, and there's nothing for me to fear, regardless of what the outcome is at the end
Hmm.
of the day. I've beat people for literally what it was one fight I had for 13 minutes. And for about 12 minutes and 50 seconds, I whooped on the guy. And 10 seconds later, I was asleep in a choke. like,
Right. It happens.
and it
Yeah.
happens. That's the art of this game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Right. Is that
yeah,
where that come? You have a tattoo that says "Humble Beast," right? Yeah. You
yes,
think that's where it comes
yes,
from?
yes, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. That humble beast tattoo. It's like it's funny because I have like this battle actually with it,
Mm.
and I love to say it's undone because I feel like everybody has different chapters of their life. Like you
Yeah.
have the moments where you need to be humble, you have the moments where you need to be a beast. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
have like different moments in it, where it's like, you know, like F being humble. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Like at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's
Sometimes it don't serve you, right?
yeah, it don't
Yeah.
serve you,
Yeah.
and like that's why I say like sometimes I've had my modes where it was like, oh, cause I was gonna get the humble crossed out, like forget being humble, and be a beast,
Right.
like kind of like
Always.
that's the you get what
Yeah.
I'm saying, and they have their different purposes, but so many battles. Like at the end of the day, I'm still going through life, man. At 28 years
Mm-hmm.
old, I I know I still got a long life ahead of me, God willing, um, and anything can happen, any different things can change. I could be on this great winning streak of life, not just in the cage, just great
Right.
winning streak of life. And, I can be humble and all this other stuff. And then it may turn like where I just have to be a beast. I might have to go in beast mode.
Right.
Being a gym owner, you may have to go in beast mode. It
Right.
may like, your gym is failing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be humble, this and that. I'm gonna wait for something to come to me. Nah, man, I
Yeah.
gotta go out there and get to it.
Run everybody over if it got to.
I got it, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? Everybody's food at this time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I gotta get the job done.
Man, what do you think that? I mean, I hate using this word, but balance, right?
Balance.
Right, because we got. I mean, you got a lot of different plates that you have to play with, right? You're a dad, you're a
Mm-hmm.
family man, you're a
Yeah.
business owner, you're a fighter, and then there's still some other things you got to do. A little security job, whatever it
Yeah.
is to get some extra income coming, because fighting is not as consistent sometimes,
Yeah.
right? So
Definitely.
like, what do you think? Because like, there's moments where we've had these conversations off camera before. It's like, yo, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
Everything seems to be falling apart. I got to go all the way in, and some things may fall apart through it, but I got to go.
Yeah.
Like, where do you like speak on that, bro? Like, I don't think people really think about that, and the all of that, the lifestyle.
That's actually circling back to what I was actually just saying. Like right now, is like how you were saying. Like there's almost no such thing as balance.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, nobody on this earth, unless you just reading minds or something like that, or I don't
Yeah.
know, got some superpower going on. Hey, that's dope. Hit me up. I just
Let us
might.
know how you do
Yeah,
that.
let me know just a little secret or something. But other than that, nobody knows what tomorrow's promised at the end of the day, man.
Yeah.
I've been on the phone with people, and 10 minutes later they weren't there. I've been on the side of people, and the next day they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's nobody knows what's going to happen next at the end of the day. Yeah, my dad being a person who was, a person that was a person I could always reach out to at the end of the day. That's right here. My girl got me this right here with his face, a pendant with his face on it. And, I try to keep it with me as much as possible, just to kind of remember, because for him, everything, all the adversities he done been through and everything, he's still that man. At 50 years old, you couldn't tell him he wasn't about to be rich. You couldn't tell him nothing at all. Any dream or goal he had, he was, oh, I'm gonna do it. Like there was no quit or BS in his heart at the end of the day. He'd been to jail multiple times, even months before even passing his passing. He was just in jail and everything, getting out, still talking about how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And when we want him to live life regular, like, we try to put this standard on, the regular lifestyle, oh, go get a job, dad, or slow down, do this, do that. Him, you talk to him, he about to go have a freaking meeting with 50 Cent or something. Like,
Right. Yeah.
just not to
Yeah.
say, he was ever lying or nothing like that. Not to, that was just a form of exaggeration, but just a small exaggeration because he was well known.
He's always
You know,
onto something, always moving.
always on to
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
always on the go. No matter if this didn't work, man, he wasn't letting that
Yeah.
stop him
That
at
white picket
all.
fence just wasn't for him,
It just
right?
was, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That white picket fence lifestyle and all of that, it just wasn't him.
Yeah.
It wasn't him. No matter how much you try to create that for somebody, it just, if it ain't them, it ain't them.
Right.
So just trying to find balance in life and everything. At the end of the day, I learned that, man, ops, that'll kill you faster than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to sit there and please, be a people pleaser and everything. Like, that have actually killed me in my career and everything.
Right.
And once I like kind of just accepted, like, hey man, it's my life. Where if I'm gonna win or succeed or fail at the end of the day, it's gonna be on my own terms.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is like I know I'm gonna give it my all every day that I can
Right.
in all the situations that I can. I can't control the situation of if what's gonna happen, but I know I'm gonna try to give it my all to make the best out of it, no matter what it is, what's going on or anything, you know. And at the end of the day, just try to control my emotions as much as I can, and accept them.
Right.
That's something
Right.
as a man I've had to overcome emotions. Like I felt like I had to hide a lot of emotions. I thought I had all the answers and everything, even with my relationship and everything. I thought I had all the answers, and I had to like sit back, like, man, okay, you don't. At the end of the day, you don't, man. No matter as much as you think you do, you don't. Dealing with death and everything. Man, I've encountered death almost so much between friends, family, going through situations myself. I thought death was just normal, even though life and death is something that happens.
Right.
But
It's a part of life, right? Death is
yes,
a part of life.
it's part of life.
Right.
But the emotions are too. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now,
It's part of humanity.
the way you act on them
Yeah.
emotions is a different story. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that is something I had to learn how to control.
Right.
Because acting on emotions can lead you to places that, forget a game plan, like that you really just didn't want to be at the end of the
The
day.
game plan just goes out the
Yeah, the
window at
game
that
plan
point.
out the
Yeah.
window. Everything, once you start acting on emotions, your
Yeah.
life is really about to turn into a tornado. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no telling like what leads to what at the end of the day. You beat somebody up, you shoot at somebody or whatever the case may be. You don't know where the next page leads to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Acting off of those emotions. And that's just something at the end of the day, trying to control my emotions as much as possible was something key for me throughout all the adversity that I was going through and still am going through. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
And we'll continue to go on through, right? Like
Yep.
there's no way to live this life without feeling something.
Yeah,
Right. I
definitely.
feel like there's this thing that I put words to it now. It's like emotions are there to learn from, not act from.
Yeah,
Right. And I think
exactly.
that's essentially what you're saying in more words, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've came to that realization. It's like they're there to warn us, they're there to teach us, they're there to keep us alive.
Yeah.
But the choice is ours on how we use what we learn, the lessons we learn from the pain, the lessons we learn from the emotions, then how we apply them is then we can dictate the next page, right?
Yeah.
If we choose to learn, look, and then act, opposed
Exactly.
to act from the emotion, right?
Big time.
Yeah.
Especially. And now the place you really don't want to go in with emotions is that cage. You get hit and want to return the favor, you better be calculating in what you're doing, because that right there could lead you to your demise. Strict, like very quickly. You know what I'm saying? Just acting off emotions. It could be the end of the fight right then and there.
Any fight, right? Not
Any
even just
fight.
in the cage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You gotta be. You've heard these people, bro. Where like I know you can relate to not being like this, but there's these people that always go, "You don't want to see me get angry because I see red," right? And then like they go into this weird thing. But when I know you can relate to this side, like, but when I get angry, I get more calculated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get aggressive. I'm gonna get loud, but everything is a lot more calculated. Everything's a lot more slowed down. There's essentially your fight. All the I don't know, not that you were angry, but like the how calculated you move, right? Like
I'm gonna let you in on this one right here for sure. The things that happened leading up inside. Okay, so one, the guy was watching my page the whole time and all of that stuff. I don't really care for that personally. You know what I'm saying? He was watching my stories, every story that I don't know if he called it trying to learn me or something, you know what I'm saying? Trying to, like, that was his version of studying me or something like that. Like, I don't know. But long story short, first time I ever saw him was, at the weigh-ins. But before the
Yeah.
weigh-ins, there was a situation, I called and, I was like, hey, I might not make weight kind of thing, and they're like, all right, let me talk to the opponent. So they tell the opponent, they negotiate on their own.
Mm.
And they're like, all right,
Without
we'll
you.
fight without me. They negotiate on their own, then they get back to me. And they were like, all right, he'll fight you at a catch weight. Let's just take a part of your purse. It's all right, cool. Cool. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like,
Mm.
in that sense, it was like, all right, if he's fine with it, that's just, because at the end of the day, you have all rights to say no.
No. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
no, he has to make weight. I wasn't going to not show up to weigh-ins. I
Right.
was going to continue to, do the
You had
best
the
that I
respect
could. And
to
yeah,
say it,
exactly.
beforehand.
He
Yeah.
could have said 10 pounds less, 5 pounds less. He could have said whatever. You know what I'm saying? They made the choices. They talked about it. Then when I showed up, it was just a contract for me to sign. That's what it was.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But so as I'm stepping on the scale
That's
and
not
everything,
regular though, is it? Usually it's all.
usually it's full. It was just I don't. I'm not bashing anybody
No, no,
in
no.
the sense
Yeah.
of like it was just hey, let's just keep this fight on the card. Like,
It's what happened, right?
yeah,
You're
this
just
is just
saying what
what happened
happened.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day. It was like let's make sure we get this fight done. Well, it was going to happen regardless,
Yeah.
because I was going to make sure it happened at the end of the day. Him just setting dictating the weight and everything that was him dictating it. You get what I'm saying? Him
Got you.
picking and choosing
Yeah.
it. You know,
Yeah. He started to take some control before the fight a
yeah,
little bit. Yeah.
that was it was like okay, all right, cool. So long story short, he comes and he stares at me while I'm on the scale. And I'm you want to take a picture of it? And then so they make little comments and everything. Small encounter.
Mm.
It was
You
just
said that to him? The picture
I
thing?
actually, yeah, I said,
Yeah.
you want to take a picture? And his corner and everything started kind of mouthing off and everything. But it was
Of
just like,
course. Yeah.
but I'm like, dang, like like you guys are emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the part where it was like, it was funny. It was just funny for me because
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know if this was real emotion or fake emotion, like a just in case kind of thing. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like just in case we don't beat them, let's make sure the world knows this in a sense. I mean, it wasn't nothing I was hiding.
Right.
It was like, but the way they're trying to display it to the world, I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of trying to display it like as if I came to the weigh-ins, was overweight, then we negotiated or something like that. Like,
Mm.
no, I talked to you
Prior
five,
to
six
this,
hours
yeah.
ago, you know what I'm saying, prior to it. And we had a
There
talk.
was already a
Yeah,
negotiation in place
negotiation in
that he
place
led.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that you led. And it was like, where's the problem? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what was said for me
Yeah.
on my end, but like I said, I'm not trying to bash anybody because luckily the fight got done and,
It went
we're
how it
here
went.
today
Yeah.
when I went. But, long story short, so with that situation happening and everything, it took a big chunk out of my purse. I didn't know until, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know until the fight. But long story short, that's just how it went. I didn't know until I signed the contract. I mean, like I went to sign, I'm like, wow, like that's what the negotiation was,
Mm.
and I was like, well, it is what it is. We're here now. Let's just get it done type
So
of thing.
whether you won or lost, he was gonna take them. Well, he
Oh,
was taking.
yes.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
taking that number.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But so long story short, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make you pay for this.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. It was like one of them. It was one of them. I just wanted to see blood. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
And
just
we
was
saw
like,
blood.
we saw blood.
Beware
And
the
I was,
dog.
yeah, beware the dog, man. I was just sitting there, just like I just wanted them to feel some type of pain. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was well
Yeah.
calculated, trying to make sure, like just trying to dodge little things in certain areas, like any kind of surprise, little hooray kind of last minute throw or anything like that,
Right.
sneaky stuff. But I was like, I gotta make sure this he feels it. He wakes up
Yeah.
tomorrow, he looks in the mirror,
Sees blood or
you know what
sees
I'm
his
saying?
face,
Sees his
sees
face
the
and
videos.
yes.
I mean, bro, I think one of the most that's the video I posted when he shot for for the takedown. Easy three. Was it a 90-degree turn?
Yeah.
Knee to the face.
Boom.
Follow it up 1-2.
Yeah.
Send him backwards to the other side of the cage.
Yeah.
Follow it up, jab. Like, what was that feeling like?
Well, actually, so just a real detailed breakdown in that. It was like, okay, I had so many different options in it when I
That's
actually
how
did.
you know you was in a good composure and a good flow. You can look. You saw it coming.
Yes, I seen it coming. I forced it out of him. We know that like it was nothing he could do on his feet.
You were forcing takedowns out of him left and right. Yeah.
But it was once I shattered his confidence with that move just there alone. Once I sprawled and got the underhooks and turned him and everything, the knee was actually to the body. Boom. And straight to the ribs. And I had his head and I wanted to essentially finish the fight right there. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I was like, I'm gonna let you out. I'm like,
man,
I'm gonna let you out.
And for those people that don't know, in those moments, this is happening in seconds, right? You gotta be able to make decisions, a high level decision, at high level timing, and to be able to be in so much control that you have that many options, and you still let them up. Like that's a high level fight IQ in real timing.
Yeah, definitely. It was, man. I just wanted to put on the show. I had fans come out. For some reason, we got moved. So there's a thing called swing bout. When there's a lot of fights on the card, you can either be first on the main card, kind of thing, like first fight. As far as like for like the live TV kind of thing and everything, even though it's still aired live and everything, but the way they kind of try to do it, it's either you could be first, but if the card is kind of going slow or whatever the case may be, you could wind up being like the last fight. And that's
which was weird.
Yeah,
because you went after the main event.
I went after the main event, and I'm like,
why is there fights after the main event?
I'm telling you, the back room's getting cleared and everything, and I'm just like, man. So I'm like, all right, my fans came out. I want to at least give them a good little show. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, for me, from my perspective. But anyways, I was like, let me give him a good show. Let me, and at the end of the day, just show like, man, how? Like I wanted to show him like, you're at my mercy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't your show. This is my show. At the end of the day, this is my cage, and you have to come show me different.
You made it clear, bro, from the get-go. I mean, I think the entire first round, the entire fight was dominated by your jab.
Yeah.
Your distance and your control was all dictated by that jab, which is something you've always talked about.
Yeah.
You made him bleed from the jab. Every time he kicked, you made him go off balance with your jabs. Like the jab was like the highlight of the fight. And it's like that one punch alone won the fight.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do much else. You did other things.
Yeah.
But that jab alone, he was at the mercy of the extension of your jab.
That's it. I was like, okay, how are you going to beat this right here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he had no answer for it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, most people don't. And I'm gonna keep displaying it. At the end of the day, I'm gonna show everybody, like just this. I'm dangerous for a reason.
Right. And you got that heavy right hand, bro.
Yeah.
Got that heavy right hand.
We call it NyQuil though.
I bet you got Dayquil and NyQuil right here.
NyQuil real quick. This one about to make you drowsy real quick. And
this
put you out.
This one put you.
I've got knockouts with this jab alone.
Yeah.
Also, but
you said it was putting the fight to the end. Just jab this time around. Yeah.
Exactly. But overall though, I had some fun, man.
Yeah.
I had some fun. Came out unharmed. I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, bro. It seemed like you got none on your face. You ain't got. How's your leg? I know you got kicked a few times, but it didn't seem like it was probably like 2 or 3 times. But the slaps be sounding worse than they are. Like when it hits.
No cocky stuff or nothing like that. But to be honest with you, the only thing I like really came about was my actual jab hand. Like it had a
A
little
little,
swelling
yeah,
to
so I
it.
can see it right
Yeah, it
here.
had a little swelling to it. But other than
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like there's no
And that's from you
explanation to it.
hitting him.
Yeah, his face did this to my hand. But
But so he had a very interesting style where I mean he was shorter than you, right? So he
yeah,
had to keep doing this like weird leap, like he was
yeah,
jumping at you, right?
yeah.
And the first couple times I saw it, I was like, oh, that could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But you shut it down every single time. Like
No.
it was almost like it was like you saw it coming as it was like he was spring loading or something, and you
Yeah,
saw it as it was about to happen, and you were never there for him to hit you.
yeah. That's the beautiful thing about MMA.
Mm,
You get what I'm saying? With so much, there's so many things going on. Like the outside world that don't fight. Like you guys may see when no punches are being thrown that nothing is happening. There's a
there's a
lot
lot
of
happening.
detail and data happening
Yeah,
in the middle of when no punches are being thrown.
yeah.
You know, I'm not just sitting there letting him bounce
Mm-hmm.
around and me not giving him signs like, hey,
Yeah.
there's something waiting on you. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
You know, and then whenever he did try it, I had to show him like
Right.
this, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
ready for it. You
Right.
know, I'm ready for what you bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's that there was a lot of detail and
Yeah.
data going on with him doing that kind of movement.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
And the
well,
small
I already know,
details, you see that? Yeah.
you know, so the details in it, it was just like that's the beautiful part of it too, like that a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah.
It's like all of that movement, a lot of people it's funny is my teammates actually knew him, you
Mm.
know, and you know, he's supposed to be a veteran, not supposed to be, he's a veteran in the game,
Yeah.
you know, you know, been training a long time and a lot of the locals know him. They know his style and everything like that. Nobody was mimicking it or could mimic it or anything like that.
Yeah. He's got a unique style.
It was, you
Yeah.
know, so it was just like that was something a lot of people was worried about. But I'm like, man, okay, but you guys know what I'm carrying around. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? At the
Yeah.
end of the day,
It's just
this,
something new to deal with.
yeah, it's
That's
just
it. Yeah.
exactly like he has his style, but he has to come deal with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he
Yeah.
has to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, his style is okay. That's great, but come deal with me. Like you
You got to
know,
do my style. Yeah.
I
You
deal with
don't.
my style. It's like how does he? You know, I personally feel like I have a style of my own that a lot of people don't know how to adjust to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that your style specifically, it's hard to read. Like
Yeah.
if you watch how you do power, like if they're just watching you on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram or watch some of your fights,
Yeah.
they can't actually figure it out.
Yeah.
Because it looks very simple,
Yeah.
like which is what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of things that are going on a mental level, right? That no one's catching on, and if you're just looking at it, you're definitely gonna miss. You're gonna miss the magic within it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you'll probably agree with this. I tell my students all the time when I'm coaching them, like, um, fighting is a physical language.
Yeah.
Right? You're having a conversation between two people without words, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can use words in there, you talk, but like
Yeah.
it's a constant communication of movement or the fluidity of movement, and you're exchanging. Right? It's like having this conversation, but physically.
Mm-hmm.
And then even within silence you can say a lot through silence.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
There's actually more sometimes that's understood or being said with silence than with words.
Yeah.
The same way that you hear people sometimes yelling and talking, like, but you're not actually saying nothing. At the same time, sometimes people are just they're just throwing hands, and it's like you're not actually doing anything right now.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of like those details where it's like, man, you're throwing commas and colons, and you're throwing punctuation, and yeah, into the conversation.
Just through the movement alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
the ring control.
They say boxing, but I say all martial arts are a game of inches and angles.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a game of inches and angles, and through them inches and angles are going to tell a whole story. It's going to be a whole conversation. Like their coach could be calling just like his was. His coach was calling out for things.
Yeah.
And I would give him a different angle and a different look to where it's like
it's not fitting in.
It don't fit in what he's calling out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like It's you try it at your
Yeah.
own mercy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that mercy can be the end of the fight. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? It's like
1 inch, 1 angle, right?
one inch, one
And
angle, and
yeah,
it's a conversation. Like
yeah,
coach is talking, he's not responding back with words. He's trying to respond with movement,
right.
and so am I. So we're
Yeah.
having a whole conversation with
Hmm.
the coach, and
Hmm.
also the coach is like, oh, the coach is saying things, but the coach is not. No offense to the coach. The coach is a step behind in this
Right.
conversation.
Yeah,
You know
always,
what
because
I'm
he's looking inward
saying? Yeah.
into something that's happening in real time. So by the time he processes it, says it back, something's already changed,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
You're already on the next part of the
Hey,
sentence.
we already in a whole nother chapter,
Yeah,
baby. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? We're in a whole
yeah.
nother chapter,
And
man.
not to mention, you can hear him,
Yep. That was a big
right?
thing.
So you
There was
know,
one time he said, "Bring him to me, bring him to me." I walked and I stepped back. I stepped to the middle of the cage, and I think the coach like laughed or something like that. I'm like, I hear you.
right? Yeah,
Like I hear you. Like
yeah,
I'm not gonna go over there, even though it was like okay, what if I don't? You know, I just wanted to kind of give him that like.
yeah. What
What
if
if
I
I
don't
don't?
come?
Like, you know,
Yeah,
like literally when I said this is my cage, this is my fight, like I
yeah,
meant it in
right.
every angle. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was we're not gonna go fight over there. You're in here with me.
This is my fight.
Yeah, you're in here with me. You're gonna do what
Yeah.
I want you to do. You know what I'm saying?
And if you want to change it, come do it.
Come do it.
Yeah,
At the end of the
you're
day.
gonna have to change this because I'm not giving that to you. Right.
Exactly. Yep.
It's your fight, and that's the
Mhm.
level of control. We talk about in the style that I teach my students now. The way the new element, the overarching philosophy is gain and maintain control.
Yeah.
Right? Because once you have control, you got options. But everything begins and ends with that. If you don't have control, gain it. If you have it, maintain it.
Yep.
And then once you're in that position, bro, the fight's yours,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's under your lead and where you want to take it.
100%.
And that's when I heard you say you were like, man, I could have ended it right there. It's like 100% you could have, but it's an option.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, one of the options that people always overlook is you don't have to hit.
Yeah.
Right? Hitting's an option,
Yeah.
but not hitting is also an option.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So it gets real interesting and testy when I like having these kind of conversations because a lot of times people have fight conversations. It's like it's just about hitting.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, there's so much more that happens.
So much more. It's a whole freaking world of conversations going on that's happening more than just us actually
hitting each other.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's feints. Feints could tell a whole, change the game. It could be a whole conversation within itself. Man.
Right. What do you think about this? I was thinking, I literally love studying this shit and breaking it down to a point where it's so easy to digest it.
Yeah.
So I was looking at like the mechanics of fighting are super simple. Attack, defend, move. But those three have to be so simplified where they're not a thought process.
Yeah.
They have to your body has to learn it, not your mind, so that you don't have to think about it. When there's a moment to punch, your hand punches. Like it's not a thought process. Because if you're focused on those, you won't be able to actually pay attention to what's important, like the game plan.
Yeah.
And the overall game plan in any fight, from my perspective, let me know if you agree, is spacing, timing, and balance. And how you can disrupt his and how you can hide yours.
Yeah.
And if you're always worried about how to attack, defend, or move, the important part of the fight, which is spacing, timing, and balance, and how to hide yours and disrupt his, you'll never be able to focus on that
100%.
because you're like always running behind whatever's happening.
Yeah. So repetition.
Mm.
Repetition is key. Repetition, and no matter what you do, like I said, remember it's your fight at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to think of it as your fight. You can't be in there trying to fight like somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Different moments may cause for you to bring out something different, but it shouldn't be different to a fact to where you never repped it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, whether it's you changing stance, whether it's you changing a fighting style, you should have at least repped it enough to have confidence in it. And with that confidence, it comes from repetition.
Right.
At the end of the day, as long as you rep, put the work in, it'll be in your nature You know what I'm saying? Like you said, distance time. You don't have time to think, oh, okay, I got to throw now or something like,
Right.
or this and that or whatever the case may be. And you're just out there throwing,
Right.
nah, you have to have repetition to be able to execute a game plan, no matter what you're doing. You have to have repetition. That's why, don't get me wrong, I train a lot of other things. I do. But I make sure I rep the things that I'm good at, so I can make sure that I'm great at it, and then the best at it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's constant repetition. You know,
I think that's the part people overlook, right? It's like the I know this for a fact because we've trained together so many times, but just knowing you and your nature and your character is like, but what you train the most is your fundamentals.
Yeah.
Right? You rep that the most, and your fundamentals being what you're good at, and just the actual fundamentals of how to punch, kick, and move.
Exactly.
Right? So that this is second nature. And I think so many people always overlook. They want to learn new things every day, and they don't focus on creating that strong foundation.
Yes.
But those fundamentals is what wins the fight, or wins anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, man, is if the fight goes on and you're going to get tired. You know what I'm saying? Both parties should be tired. If that fight is going on, you're going to get tired.
Right.
You know what? Let me dissect that a little bit more.
Let's go into it.
I actually did not get tired. Because I wasn't pushed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Whether that's a good or bad thing, I let the fans decide it. But you should be being pushed till you're tired, especially in training.
Right.
You should be getting tired in training regardless of what's going on. You should not be walking out of training not tired. Like, it should be something that you should be working on that is going to get you tired regardless of what's going on. And so you can have that constant repetition of being in that state to where when you're tired, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your body going back to? Because the real you is about to come out.
Yeah.
And that real you is that person that was either skipping fundamentals, skipping that, or skipping the things that you're supposed to do,
the hard work
or whatever, and that person's about to come out.
Right.
So
or the opposite, right? The person that was putting in the reps, person was that. What's that Bruce Lee quote? I'm not afraid of the guy
who gets it right one time and stops.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of the one who throws it 1,000, who perfects it and throws it 1,000 times. A little jacked up word in there, but at the end of the day, we knew what he was trying to say. It's that guy practicing that same move over and over again
because he's perfected it.
Yes, that's the move that I fear versus that you learned a spinning back kick and you posted a video.
Yeah, and it looks
and
cool.
You left it there.
Yeah, you left it there.
That's where it was at. After that video was posted, it was all right.
Right.
Try again next week or the week after that.
It's like, no, man, that's day in and day out, I do spinning back kicks. Day in and day out, I do spinning back kicks. I've landed them to the face. I've landed them to the body. I've done it on a tall opponent, small opponent, big opponent. It don't matter. It's my kick.
Yep. Yeah. To where the details of if it doesn't land. You know what I'm saying?
You know how
if it doesn't work at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If it don't work, there's no fear setting in.
Yeah.
And that was something.
And you don't lose control.
That's how I was about to say. That was something that I seen. Like I said, I seen in my opponent. It was what happens when you don't work. You know what I'm saying? What happens when that thing that you're used to does not work?
Your style is not working against.
Style ain't working. What's next?
Right.
And
there was no switch up.
There was no switch up at the end of the day. It was he really wanted a way out, and I should have gave it to him. But I had fun with what I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, that's one thing you told me at the end. You was like, what was working. So I had fun with it.
Yeah.
I think those were the words you said to me after the fight.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt good about it at the end of the day. I felt good moving forward. I feel even better. I got so much things in the works now, just to progress my game in itself, because I'm forever a student, just
Right.
constantly trying to learn and everything. Um, just want to adapt. Now, unfortunately, I'm looking for the next high.
You
Yeah,
know.
because it wears
Yeah.
off pretty quick at
Yeah.
the end of the
It
day.
don't last.
It
And
don't last. So it's
yeah.
like, all right, let's do it again. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah. It's funny because I was literally gonna ask you what's next. What are you seeing next for your career? What are you seeing next for man? Let's talk about built to win, bro.
yeah.
Like uh,
Just progress and just for this year alone, I've kind of just was like, okay, I'm gonna try everything at the end of the day. Opening up Built to Win was like a dream come true for
mhm.
sure. But people can't. One thing I had to learn myself was that the dream isn't done. Like the work isn't done.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm
It's
steady
just
wanting
it
to.
begin. It begins when you.
Yes, it
Yeah.
begins. All I did was get the keys to the doors, and it's like it felt good like I said, at the moment. But now it was just like, okay, how can I keep progressing? What can I do? I always, unfortunately, always see a flaw in something and
Mhm.
want to progress it.
Mhm.
And I know you can relate to that
Yeah.
well. Like, so it was just, it's a beautiful thing to be able to give back at the end of the day. To give my knowledge back to the sport.
Right.
You know, um,
And to the next generation, bro.
to the
Because
next
I see,
generation.
man, every time story is kids, bro. Kids. That's
Yes.
like one of the things we have in common is we love working with the next generation.
Yes, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Being
Yeah.
able to, because at the end of the day, we didn't have us. Like, don't get me wrong, we had,
Mm.
this is a
It's a big
good,
one.
like, we've had role models.
Yeah.
There's been role models for
Yeah.
sure. But even to our role models could say, like, nobody was them. Nobody's Carnation.
Right.
Nobody's Devon. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, so to be able to give back in my own way, to give back in your own way,
Yeah.
like, is, our kids would be able to say the same thing. Like, nobody was them and nobody would be them. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's.
And they'll take what we give them, and then they'll flip it,
Yeah,
make it their own,
add to it.
and give right back, just as we have.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely one thing that I know that we've gone out and like you said, we've had role models and we've gone out and grabbed this information. But I've noticed that it wasn't always something or someone that like was trying to do that per se.
Yeah.
It was someone that we attached to,
Mm-hmm.
which is a different story when you look at what we're up to. It's like, no, we want, like, we're choosing to be that person
Yeah.
for this next generation. Like, we're
Big
choosing
time.
that. We're looking for it. We're going out and seeing who wants this information too, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the big difference in what we're making our own, you
Yeah.
know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That hits it right there on the nail. Just being able to give back and give it our own in our own kind of way at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that stuff right there is key for me. It's a beautiful feeling at the end of the day to be able to just stick that key in that door.
Yeah.
And be able to have people walk through, you know what I'm saying, that one will be doing something else. Like, I'm not going to say just I got good or bad kids. At the end of the day, I feel like they're great, but when there's boredom, there's too much time for trouble,
Mm-hmm. It's too
and
much space.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's too much space in it, and you don't always have to go look for trouble. Trouble can find you,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I like that, whether it be just for that hour or 2 hours or whatever the case may be. I know they're in good, safe hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm at least giving my time to them.
Right.
And I know they're not off doing something unproductive at the
Right.
end of the day.
And I think you said it's an hour or two that at least for these we know they're not up to something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it goes beyond that, right? Because like I know like these kids come excited to your class, right?
Yeah.
Like they can't. So it's like, man, they're sitting here they can't wait to come back to the gym. They can't wait to step back on the mat. So it's like, man, the hours actually go longer because they're sitting there about, man, as coach said,
Yeah.
and they sitting there all day thinking about it. And it's like that is time that they're being productive on something that's like releasing energy in a positive way.
Big time. Big time.
So what would you say, bro, if someone's like on the verge, like they think about bringing their kids or even themselves into training, why, like from your perspective, from your experience, why train? And it doesn't even exactly have to be MMA or fighting or martial arts. Like, why train though?
Man, just to be able to, release, whether it's good or bad, just be able to release some energy. Sometimes, like, you may be receiving so much energy, whether it's good or bad,
Yeah.
it needs to be released,
Yeah.
and I feel like everybody should find a way to, release that energy, whether it's running, you become a sprinter. Like you said, it doesn't have to be fighting at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you know.
Why would you say fighting though, or MMA or martial art?
Oh man, just because of the challenge.
Yeah.
It's mano y mano. It's you versus you
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Of course, when you put somebody in front of you, it's you versus them, but
Still you versus
it's
you
still you
first.
versus you
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and that brings it. Fighting alone brings out, when done the correct way, brings
Right.
out the best
Yeah.
version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to, nobody's inside of your brain.
Right.
And you have to talk to that voice that's talking to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's no other fight,
Mm-hmm.
That's bigger than that. Because that voice is going to, whether you're at a office job or whatever, it's going to forever be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to be able to, this sport alone, I feel like gives it the best test.
It teaches you how to deal with it too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
In real
definitely,
time.
exactly,
Yeah.
in real time.
Yeah.
Like I said, when done correctly,
Yeah. Of
because you
course.
can, just like you can be led, you can be misled.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a
100%
lot of
agree.
teachers out there that aren't leading correctly.
There's a lot
Um,
of teachers out there that shouldn't be leading.
that
Period.
shouldn't be leading at
Yeah.
all. But when done correctly, this right here will help you be ready for that fight with your conscience at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because suicidal thoughts and all of that kind of stuff and everything is real.
Yeah.
And if you're having them, seek help, professional help. But
Yeah.
this battle right here have saved me in so many journeys. You know what I'm saying? Being able to walk into the gym, being able to train, being able to be alone with that thought, with them
Yeah.
voices in my
Yeah.
head.
And then you deal with them, right? Because it's one thing if someone's always helping you deal with that or
Yeah.
cope with it,
Mm-hmm.
but for you to be the one that's able to deal with it in real time, first-handed, like it's unparalleled,
Oh,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
The challenge that this sport and this art brings to you is unparalleled in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I've said this to you before. I think fighting is the rawest expression of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where all these lessons come in, is because you're forced to face yourself and you're forced to choose courage in the face of fear every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we walk out and, like, of course we've trained, of course we've done this 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 50,000 times, but every time you walk out there, you feel something.
Yeah.
It's impossible not to. We're human.
Mm-hmm.
But every time we have to choose courage. When you get locked in that cage and it's just you and another person, you're forced to deal with that voice you're talking about and put your best foot forward and then learn from it as you're doing it in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
It forces you not only to face yourself, but it forces you to tap into your higher self, from my perspective.
Fight or flight.
Yeah.
Fight or flight, man.
Fight or flight.
At the end of the day, and the more you become one with that voice, the more it's going to choose fight.
Yeah.
The more it's going to choose fight, regardless of the situation. I feel like a big. This also becomes because of repetition. But you ever see somebody get knocked out and their body's still fighting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
You know what I'm saying? All the time. Like
that's and that's like when in martial and traditional martial arts, you talk about your spirit, right? And like you have to hide your spirit and not let your opponent see your spirit, but also have an indomitable spirit where nothing's stopping you. It's like your spirit's still fighting. Your body might be out, or your mind might be, it's shut off to protect itself, but your spirit's still fighting. Is that and that's what you were talking about, where like once you get tired, once you get hit a certain line the real self is coming out.
Yeah.
And when you've trained to that point, because anyone can train up to that point, it's a choice. Your body will continue fighting for you whether you're there or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen it
Yeah.
firsthand. Like, damn,
Yeah.
he's still swinging.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes is closed.
Yeah. He's swinging, still going for, like,
yeah.
we've seen it in videos all the time. Like,
Yeah.
he gets the ref in the arm bar, and he was out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know in sparring, I've definitely gotten rocked a couple times, and like I don't remember periods of the sparring session,
Yeah.
but I was still on my feet fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, sir, brother. Well, anything else you want to talk to the people out here?
Oh man, I think that about wraps it right there,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Just at the end of the day, just keep on fighting a good fight, and what that is, that fight within yourself.
Yeah.
That fight within yourself, that voice in your head, become friends with it.
Mm-hmm.
Become one with it, and make sure that you're on top of it at the end of the day. Be so much on top of it that it listens to you and you don't listen to it.
Oof.
You know.
And that right there, what he just said, is what we mean by we believe everyone should be the champion of their own story. And
100%.
champion yourself. Choose you every single time, and choose you over that voice every single time. And whoever is in front of you has no chance. And whether you win or lose that fight physically, you still a champion, because that, as long as you're conquering that inner battle constantly chasing for that higher self, that's how you become a champion. Champs Corner, Dangerous Devon Brock, my brother. Appreciate you, my guy.